Hi, my name is Annika. I am the founder of Mummy Made This, a company I founded 3 years ago now to inspire creative play in children, but also to share with you all the things I have learned so far as a mum of three in terms of being a busy parent, a working parent, a stay-at-home parent for a bit, and the trials and tribulations that I have been through and the things I have tested with my three to share with you what works, what hasn't worked, for you to be able to take away from that the things that make sense to you so you can become that authentic parent that you are. I had a really interesting conversation with one of my friends the other day on the school run, and we talked about values and the values that we want to pass on to our children, and how actually taking that step back and figuring out those values that we want to see in our kids, when they're 18, 25, 35, 50, if we're still around, that I think getting clear on where it is that we're going, just like in business, right? Or just like in any objective setting, as it were. I know it's not as straightforward as that in parenting, but I think setting ourselves or reminding ourselves of what it is that we ultimately want to achieve in terms of what we want to pass on, in terms of the values that we give our kids, I found really helpful in then breaking that down into the day-to-day smaller decisions and holding firm on maybe decisions that are actually harder than to normally would have been harder for me to implement. So an example would be, I want them to grow up fit and healthy and love food and try different things. That might mean in the now battles with food, and I don't mean taking those battles to the nth degree, but I think it makes me clearer on, okay, actually it's really important for me that they try new food. So how can I help them do that in the here and now, and how can I sit alongside them to try some of that, as I say, not necessarily getting into a battle, but holding that firm and having that clear steer within myself, that is important to me, and to know that why that is important to me, because it's one of my values that I want to pass on to my kids. That's just one example. How about you? What values do you want to pass on to your children? Let me know in the chat. And I guess it all goes back to this compass thing, right? The guiding light that we have as authentic parents that we want to be. What is important to us? What makes us unique? What's important in our family? And how do we want to pass that on?